What's up, everyone? Kevin Oak here. Just finished another week, the first full week of training, I guess, after Boss of Bosses, and for this prep for my next meet. It's Friday. I don't even remember what I did on Monday, but Monday was more of my it's like a strongman accessory, like posterior chain training day. So I know I did yoke walks. I started off with axle clean and presses, which I'm not going to be doing anymore. They just don't really serve the purpose I was trying to have them serve. So instead of doing those next week, I'm going to try doing high pulls from like a hang position or from the floor with a barbell, where I just work on driving the bar up my body towards like my shoulder line, neckline as fast as possible. To pretty much just work on being explosive. It's something I used to do in college a lot. It felt good when I used to do it, so I'm going to do that instead. It'll make more sense, because with the axle clean and presses, it's really just harder on your grip, which I'm not really trying to work to that extent right now. And then doing the press doesn't really make sense, because then I'm pressing on Wednesday, so I'm going to try to do high pulls instead. It'll make more sense. You guys will see it next week. Hopefully they go well. But then I did some yoke walks, which is really just helping with my core stability and kind of getting more time under tension on it. So that's usually why I like kind of doing those. I think they have a lot of carryover to deadlifts more than anything. I did barbell extensions on that day as well, because I'm trying to work more posterior chain on that day. So obviously those hit your glutes, your hamstrings, and there's something I like to keep in my program as much as possible, because there's something that just really helps me work those areas that are kind of underdeveloped on me, I guess you could say. So the more I hit those, the better. They force me to activate my glutes. They force me to activate my hamstrings, so I love them for that reason. That was the main stuff from that day. Wednesday was my upper body day. Did incline press, incline press, which I did more volume on. Normally what I do is work up to like one heavy top set. Now I did 4x6 with 315, which obviously isn't that heavy for me, but the volume definitely was different for me. It gave me a pretty good shoulder pump. I was trying to keep the sets much closer together than usual, so it felt good. After that, I did military press, which felt very foreign. I haven't done it in probably like 6 to 8 weeks or so, so it felt really weird trying to balance it over my head, but obviously I'll get used to it again. Worked up to 285 for a single. Probably could have went heavier, but it felt so awkward. There's just no reason to go heavier. Honestly, there's just no point in it. So I'll probably keep those fairly heavy. I'm not gonna do too much volume on them. I'll just work up to like probably one heavy working set on those. I'm not gonna do the multiple working sets, but after that, just did like triceps, biceps. I did something else. I forget what that day. Oh, I did like a ton of dips as well, just to still work chest basically. But today was my squat deadlift day. I was breaking in some new knee wraps. I got the Titan Golds. They're extremely tight. They felt really good. It's hard to kind of do them on SSB front squats. It's always hard doing wraps on those, because you're holding a bar so awkwardly to begin with, and then you're trying to also think about bouncing into the wraps correctly. So I ended up working up to 705 or 704, I forgot what it was, because the bar weighs 70 pounds, so it's like 32 kilos or so. Hit 705. The bar was kind of sliding forward on me, so it was hard to like lock it out basically, but the weight felt easy. I would have liked to do like a double or triple, but since the bar was sliding out, there's no way for me to go down again. It would have just fallen off of me. But the weight felt good. The wraps feel really good. I really like them a lot. Definitely gonna stick with them for this prep. After squats, I did sumos, which did not go well. I ended up trying to widen my grip a little to see if that would help at all with my technique, and it did the opposite basically. Because I widened my grip, it forced me to widen my stance, which forced me basically to bend over more, which is bad for me. I already have bad sumo leverages just because my arms, like the length of my arms compared to the length of my legs, it puts me fairly bent over. I can't start very upright. It's bad in deadlifting in general, conventional sumo. It's bad all around. But when I went wider, it forced me to bend over even more. So it was extremely hard to try to get my back straight. Like I just couldn't get my back straight at all. So it they felt terrible. The goal was to do 615 or 605 for 4x4. The first set were terrible. I got a double. I was like, holy shit, that's not good. So then I just did 2 more doubles. On the second set, I lost balance at the top on the second rep. I ended up kind of when I dropped it, it fucking hit the top of my right knee, so that kind of sucked. I don't know if that's gonna like be bad or good tomorrow. Hopefully it doesn't swell up. Like, it feels fine now, but it's like my body hasn't cooled down from working out yet, so I don't know how it's gonna feel tomorrow. After that, I did some rows to work back. I did some quad extensions where I'm just only doing like the top part of the lockout of the motion, which basically works your teardrops and the low end of your quad, whatever it's called. I don't know the technical term, but it works your teardrops in the bottom of your quads really well when you do that, where you just keep tension on it and you just keep locking it out. Which also helps when you're in knee wraps, because you really have to keep everything around your knee extremely strong when you're in knee wraps. So did that. Did calf extensions. I think that was it. And yeah, I think that was it. I forget. When the calf extensions, you'll notice, like, at the end of the set, I like to stay in the bottom position of the calf extension for about 10 seconds, just to like keep stretching my calf and to keep tension under it. I've found that helps a lot, just in like the stability of your calf, because your calf also is like part of your posterior chain, which will help a lot. It helps in 2 ways. It helps in sumos a lot. It helps in deadlifting in general. You'll notice just with balance when you're pushing through the floor mainly, and it helps on it helps with mobility of your ankle when you're doing squats in general. A lot of times if people kind of start rolling forward on their toes, it's because their ankles are tight and their calves are tight. So you want to make sure you can still keep that range of motion, especially when you're doing calf extensions, just to make sure your ankle has the mobility necessary to like get into the bottom position of a squat without rolling forward on your toes. But all in all, it's a bumpy week, but I'm getting used to doing more volume, so of course I'm gonna be fatigued from that. But that's it, just pressing on. Just gotta keep fighting, gotta keep working on weaknesses basically, and that's it. That's the second week of prep.
Pull out, I'll take the beat around the home if I'm walking through, so you got a 57 over here.
Obviously. Because I think, they have more problem on ground than anyone else. So I think
But there's no problem when we're out there.
Right.
When we're not out there, there's no problem.
right.
Once they start putting one out there, something happens. And they can make it sound like it's worse than it is because they...
How many was that?
一起来。